So let's talk about AI, but maybe in a way you haven't really thought about it before. We're not just going to look at it as a piece of tech, but as something much, much bigger, a fundamental force of nature that has some pretty huge consequences for all of our futures. We tend to think of AI as something we use, right? Like a hammer or smartphone. But what if that's the wrong way to look at it? What if it's more like, I don't know, the atmosphere or the ocean, a brand new environment that we're all being forced to adapt to? So let's really dig into that idea. Okay, so here's the big idea we're diving into. AI isn't just a product, it's a new environmental pressure. The argument is that it's literally shaping human evolution, kind of like how climate or geography did for our ancestors, way back when. This quote just nails it. It really captures the sheer scale of the change we're talking about. The rise of AI is being compared to events as profound as when oxygen first filled Earth's atmosphere. I mean, that was a moment that fundamentally changed the rules for all life on the planet. That's the level we're talking about. Now, to really get our heads around this whole environmental impact thing, we need to understand a key concept from physics and information theory, and that concept is entropy. But it's not just one kind of entropy. It turns out there are two, and we really need to look at both of them. So on one side, you've got Boltzmann entropy. That's all about disorder in the physical world. And on the other, you have Shannon entropy, which is all about uncertainty in the world of information. They might sound kind of similar, but trust me, understanding the difference between these two is the absolute key to this entire idea. All right, let's start with Boltzmann. Just picture a messy room. There are millions, maybe billions of ways for it to be messy, right? That's high physical entropy. Now, a perfectly clean room? Well, it can only really be arranged in a few specific ways. That's low physical entropy. It's all about the number of possible ways you can physically arrange stuff. Okay, so that's physical stuff. Now for Shannon entropy. This is all about information. Imagine a weather forecast that says 50% chance of rain. That has high informational entropy, lots of uncertainty. But a forecast that says 100% chance of sun, that has super low entropy. And it's this kind of entropy, the informational kind, that AI is basically designed to hunt down and destroy. And this is where AI storms onto the scene. You can honestly say that the number one job of modern AI is to take a world that's just brimming with informational uncertainty, high Shannon entropy, and systematically crush it into predictable order. To put it as simply as possible, AI is an entropy collapsing machine. That's its job. It takes messy, unpredictable data, it finds the patterns, it makes predictions, and it creates order. It literally squeezes the uncertainty out of information. And we see this playing out everywhere, right? AI is used for predictive policing to try and reduce the uncertainty of where a crime might happen. It nudges our behavior online with recommendation algorithms that predict what we're going to click on next. It even optimizes the job market by narrowing down the range of what counts as an acceptable human job. It's all about one thing: killing variables and boosting predictability. So what's the upshot of all this? Well, we now live in what you could call an informationally engineered environment. And in this new world, survival and success are no longer just about navigating the physical or social worlds. Nope. Now it's about navigating a brand new landscape that is actively shaped and ordered by algorithms. Okay, so if this is our new reality, what does it actually mean for us? Well, this new, super-ordered environment presents a pretty unique challenge for us as a species, and it comes with some very, very serious risks. The world that AI is building is incredibly efficient. There's no doubt about it. It optimizes everything it touches. But here's the hidden danger. All of that order is brittle. See, when a system gets so optimized for one specific set of conditions, it becomes extremely vulnerable when something unexpected comes along. And the proposed solution to this, well, it's kind of mind-bending. If AI is systematically getting rid of informational disorder, then maybe our best survival strategy is to consciously reintroduce physical and creative disorder back into the system. We have to learn how to engineer our own productive chaos. So to thrive in this new world, the argument goes, we're going to need a whole new set of skills. We'll need the mental flexibility, the cognitive plasticity to think outside of those algorithmic boxes. We'll need the cultural resilience to protect diverse ways of thinking. And maybe most importantly, we'll need the ability to strategically manipulate entropy ourselves. Now, I know this all might sound a little out there, but it actually leads to a very concrete toolkit for how we can fight back against this creeping over-optimization. So the question becomes, how do we actually do it? All right, here's a 5-part game plan. First, we inject technological noise, using things like strong encryption to protect our own agency from the algorithms. Second, we build more robust, localized supply chains through distributed manufacturing. Third, we have to actively preserve cultural diversity, protecting all the different ways of thinking that are embedded in our languages and traditions. Fourth, our education system needs a major shift, away from finding the one right answer and towards encouraging improvisation. And finally, we need to build a whole new kind of AI, an entropy-aware AI, one that actually values exploration, not just relentless, single-minded optimization. This quote just perfectly sums up the massive shift in mindset that we need. Disorder, randomness, uncertainty. These aren't problems to be eliminated. They're vital resources for resilience, for creativity, for freedom. Entropy is a partner to be danced with. So as we look ahead, this entropic dance really defines the fundamental choice we face in the age of AI. It's a choice between the comfort of perfect, predictable order and the vital necessity of human adaptability. And the stakes here are just incredibly high. Lean too far into AI-driven order and you get things like brittle systems and homogenized thought. But lean too far the other way into total disorder and you risk chaos and systemic collapse. The path forward is all about finding a very delicate balance. So in the end, what this all really comes down to is cultivating a new kind of wisdom for the 21st century. Let's call it entropy literacy. It's the skill of knowing when to embrace order and efficiency, but also knowing when to intentionally inject a little bit of variability, randomness, and creative chaos to keep our systems and ourselves alive and adaptable. And that really leaves us with the final question, doesn't it? In this new age defined by AI, are we going to learn to become wise custodians of this cosmic dance between order and chaos? Or are we going to become prisoners of the perfect, predictable, and dangerously brittle world that we seem to be building for ourselves?